Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time you guys are listening to this. Welcome back to another episode of the Layman's AI podcast. I am Adam,
And my name is Brian.
and we want to welcome you guys back for what is now our ninth episode of the Layman's AI podcast. And for this week, Brian and I had to get a little creative because at the end of last week's episode, we asked you guys to submit possible topics or possible questions for us to ask AI tools, and we heard crickets.
Oh,
Actually, I
buddy.
think I think we would have rather have heard crickets than what we heard. I put some stuff on social media and nobody got back to me. Brian, I don't think
Hmm.
anybody got back to you. Is that accurate?
Yes, I am sad, but not
Okay.
really. But not
It
really.
happens. No, not really, because we did find some fun stuff. So we've spent the last hour prepping for this episode, and by prepping for it, we have asked friends from high school, friends from our family, I guess not friends,
Hmm.
family members, for possible ingredients that they would have laying around the house, and we'll show you guys in a minute what we're planning on doing with that with the AI tools. And we've been doing that as well as we're going to discuss the prediction, a sports prediction, if you will. We're going to see how these AI tools can predict with accuracy when the Cleveland Browns will actually win the Super Bowl. Brian, what's your prediction on
Uh,
when the Browns will win the Super Bowl?
sometime between never and not gonna happen.
Wow, we are on the same page as always on
Yeah,
this one. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's like as a lifelong Browns fan, that kind of hurts me to say that, but you know what? You expect the worst and you won't be disappointed. So
right.
that's kind of a negative way of looking at things. But you know what? Maybe they'll have some fun with it. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what's going on here.
We'll see
But
what the AI tools say. Yeah.
but yeah, I am excited for the first one. We are going to find out some dishes that we can make from a random list of ingredients. Now,
And boy,
we'll
boy, is it random.
yes, it is random. We sent social media posts and text messages. My brother, sister-in-law, my mom got back to me along with my wife, and I think a couple friends from high school got back to us as well,
hmm
and just threw some ingredients in there. So, Adam, why don't you take it from here?
All right. So, those of you that are listening on the standard podcast, we're doing this on YouTube as well. So, we are going to try to share the screen for the first time. But don't worry if you're listening on a podcast because I'm going to read or we will read everything off to you. So, we're going to try this for the first time and hopefully it works the way we tested it.
Never.
Oh, this looks promising.
Okay, so here we go with ChatGPT.
Yep.
So, Adam, what are we going to make here? What are our ingredients?
Oh, boy. So, our ingredients are, let's have a look here, horseradish, kimchi, durian, which I had to look up. You told me that's a Legend of Zelda reference.
I don't know if it's a Legend of Zelda made of taking that from the real world, but it is a the King of Fruits.
King of fruits. Okay. Paprika, pickles, tofu, and oregano.
This sounds like one heck of a mix right here.
It's horrible. This sounds like
Hey,
something that would be in a single guy's apartment after his girlfriend broke up with him and he hasn't done any grocery shopping since. That's what this sounds like to me.
yeah, he's doing some emotional eating right here.
All
And
right.
okay, so what meal can I make with the following ingredients that I just stated? So, ChatGPT, do
Yep.
your best.
So we're doing this with ChatGPT first. We're going to see what it says we can do. I'm curious to see if it asks a follow-up question for clarification.
Hmm.
Or what does it do? Does it just make it? Now, for those of you who are a little bit advanced in the AI, this is ChatGPT 4.0. All of the versions we're using tonight with the AI tools are going to be your basic free versions. We are not doing ChatGPT like 4.5 or oh 03 or anything like that. We're going to be using the very basic modes that everybody can access for free. So, without
Hmm.
further ado, let's hit type or let's hit enter and we just hit enter and ChatGPT is about to
Okay.
respond. Whoa, it says make a spicy tofu stir fry with kimchi and pickles.
Oh boy.
Here's how to
Kimchi and
do it.
pickles. Okay, so
Wow.
makes ingredients use tofu for the main protein.
hmm
Kimchi adds some spice. Pickles add some tang. The horseradish for some heat. Paprika for depth. Oregano for herbal balance. Durian Optional, small amount for sweetness or as dessert. Okay,
That makes
I can
sense.
see that.
I would see that as a dessert. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I could see that, the tofu kind of pickle spice mix sort of as
Hmm.
your main dish, and then you chop up some durian on the side. I can see that happening.
No, I love that.
So
I love this. It gives us the method on how to cook it too.
yeah, quick method here. First, we're going to saute the tofu cubes until golden. I've actually cooked tofu. My wife is a tofu lover,
Oh,
and she's the one that suggested tofu. So,
okay.
since she likes tofu, I kind of like tofu by default. Any married man knows that.
Funny how that
Okay, so
works.
yes, you saute the tofu cubes until golden. Then you add some chopped kimchi and a bit of chopped pickles. Season with paprika, oregano, and a touch of horseradish. Optionally, blend the durian into a small sauce with honey and serve on the side.
Ooh, that might be the first little error I've seen in the answer.
You think so? What's our error right here?
We didn't specify if we had any honey or not.
Okay, so it looks like ChatGPT kind of gave a little recommendation on its own
I
to
wished
add
it wouldn't
some
have done
honey.
that. I like the idea of the fruit as the dessert, especially if this has a little spice to it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I would say so. So, do we want to ask any follow-up questions here?
I don't know. I kind of think it did a pretty good job on this one. It did.
You
And by the
know,
way, ChatGPT also says that it's bold, funky, and complex. I wouldn't say this is complex. I would say this is
yeah.
like a
Well,
nightmare scenario for a dinner. But nevertheless, it put together a meal I would try.
well, you know what? Horseradish, paprika, oregano with some good little seasoning
Hmm.
variety there. I
I
mean,
would agree.
horseradish, I love horseradish. I mean, that's one of my favorite seasonings. And you add some pickle and kimchi to the tofu. That makes a nice little. I mean, I'd say that adds a little bit of complex depth and flavor.
I
I
would
would
say so.
say.
If I was to grade this, I mean, I would give this an A. I don't think it would be an A plus. Minor mistake with the assuming that we have
Hmm.
honey. But overall, I in particular like the layout, how short and fast it is. It got to the point very quickly. This is what you do with it. Didn't waste any time,
Yes.
didn't give me any fluff.
Yes. Okay. So kimchi actually that does add a little bit of depth to it.
Uh-huh.
I just kind of did a quick little Google. Kimchi is a traditional Korean side dish consisting of salted and fermented vegetables, most often Napa cabbage or Korean radish. A wide selection of seasonings are used, including et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I would think, I would take the Napa cabbage and the Korean radish, the fermented Korean radish and fermented cabbage, and I would add our seasonings there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
Yeah.
would say we would do. So
Now what's
I
nice is
think
you can deter from this. You don't have to do it exactly the way it gave it to you. But
yeah, yeah.
overall, I think ChatGPT did a good job on this one.
I think so. I think so.
Let's
Let's
try
ask
it.
another one, see if they
Let's
have
do
any
it.
other options.
All right, let's go to the spicy AI tool. We are at Grok right now. So we are going to ask
Yeah.
Grok the exact same question. So I am literally good and basically question in terms of this is a prompt. So what meal
Yes.
can I make with the following ingredients? And we've listed them again. Let's see what Grok says. Let's see if it says something similar.
Hmm.
So we've entered the prompt
You've got a
and
bold
oh,
mix of
his
ingredients
layout's
there.
completely different. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so just reading it, you've got a bold mix of ingredients there. Horseradish, kimchi, durian, paprika, pickles, tofu, and oregano. The challenge is balancing the strong flavors like durian and horseradish,
Hmm.
while with the others create something cohesive. Here's a meal idea. So, et cetera, and they call it spicy tofu kimchi stir fry with durian pickled relish.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that sounds interesting. So,
Serves 2 to 3. Wow. Okay.
okay. About 15 minutes, about a half hour between prep and cook. Okay.
All right. I like that. ChatGPT didn't add that.
Okay, so it's giving us measurements here,
Oh,
which
wow.
actually is nice. That is yeah, it actually gives us some measurements. Did ChatGPT give us measurements?
ChatGPT did not give us measurements, Brian. It told us, it
Okay.
just gave us an idea. I,
Okay.
for those of you who can't see this, the layout of Grok is way more specific than the layout of ChatGPT.
Yeah, it looks like they put something in like you would with a cookbook, like an actual cookbook
Yes, yes, that is
page.
the way I would
So,
describe this. Grok, which is the one that's associated with Twitter or X, as it's called today,
mhm.
it's done a fantastic job on this, in my opinion. The layout's even better than
Yeah,
ChatGPT's. Yeah.
yeah, I'd have to say that this is I'm impressed by the layout here.
Uh-huh.
So prepare the durian pickled relish. In a small bowl, combine the finely diced pickles and chopped durian. Add grated
Okay.
horseradish for a slight kick. Mix well, set aside in the fridge, let the flavors meld. This relish will add a tangy, funky contrast to the dish. Note durian's potent aroma means a little goes a long way, used sparingly. Huh, I wouldn't
Nice.
think so. They kind of let you do a little bit, then you do the tofu, cut into cubes, pat
Hmm.
dry, which is typical with
That's pretty
tofu.
standard, I think. Yeah.
Lightly dust with paprika and a pinch of oregano for flavor.
That makes
A
sense.
tablespoon neutral oil in a large skillet. Add tofu cubes, turning, get it browned. Chop kimchi to the pan. Okay. So the kimchi was the cabbage and Korean radish. Um, Fermented. It says seasonings. I would kind of almost want to leave the seasonings out.
Right.
But the kind of prompt I got off of Google search here actually suggests garlic and ginger. That actually
Hmm.
onion jar gar onions, garlic, and ginger. That actually might be a good little fermentation process there to add some depth of flavor. But either way, so where were we? Stir fry, add the
We're on the stir
kimchi.
fry. And I am
Yeah,
so impressed with this. It tells you if you have a little bit of oil, put it in a
mhm,
large skillet or a wok over
yeah,
medium to high heat. Tells
yep,
you how approximately how long it's going to take to cook the tofu cubes, 5 to 7 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
Tells you
Drop the
how to do
kimchi
it.
right in.
Yeah.
Plate the we're getting plating now. Plate the tofu and kimchi stir fry. Spoon a small amount of the durian pickled relish on the side or as a topping. Garnish with green onions if available for freshness. Okay. So this is almost like a one dish stir fry, whereas
Yes.
ChatGPT recommended would they recommend the durian as dessert, which I almost like, but this could be an interesting one.
I
Yeah,
kind of think I'd
durian.
like this one better.
You
The
think
meal
so?
that is. I think I
Okay.
would like this one a little bit better. It's a little more daring and it did everything we asked it to do.
Yeah.
Look at these
Little
notes on the
durian.
bottom. Did you see these? The
Yeah,
caution
it
with the durian?
definitely. Yeah, caution, its flavor is too intense. I don't think we get that in the US, so that'd be something we'd have to kind of import or go to. Where is it from? South Asia, I believe. Forgive my unculturedness.
Well, that's all right. The person who submitted this probably submitted it because of The Legend of Zelda. If I had to guess, he lives in northeastern
Yeah,
Ohio. There's no way he has durian on the regular. So,
yeah, native to Southeast Asia. Yeah, it looks
yeah.
like yeah, it looks like a prickly coconut almost, but yeah, it does look like king of fruits, unique flavor.
Hmm.
The smell can be off-putting to some. Okay.
Well,
That's an interesting one. Yeah,
okay.
so the kimchi and the durian are have some Asian and the tofu has some Asian background to it. So our friends and family, they came through with some Asian dishes here. But no, I gotta say, Grok actually put together what would be a
I,
tasty meal. I kind of want to try it.
you know how we use the joke that these ingredients seem like something that'd be in a single guy's, apartment
Yeah,
after they broke up with him
exactly.
after school. This instruction is exactly for a single guy who doesn't know how to cook very well. Like this gives you step by
Yes.
step what to do. I am. This is an A plus in my opinion. The
Yeah.
answer we got here
I'm impressed with Grok's ability to put together
that was rather clever.
a good like basically a cookbook page.
Yeah.
This is literally a cookbook page. Okay.
Normally I'd
All
post
right.
that on social media, but it seems like our fans may
Perhaps.
have trouble finding some of these ingredients themselves. So, should we move on
Okay.
to Gemini? Is it time to
Let
test Gemini?
let's go to Gemini. What
And
does Gemini
listen,
have
you're
to
the
say?
Gemini guru. How do you think Gemini's going to do on this one?
I think it'll do okay. I think it'll be I think it'll be along the lines of ChatGPT, but let's see what we got here.
Let's see what we got here.
Let's see what
So,
we got.
because I didn't clarify this for the ones that are listening, Grok was Grok 3. It was not the new Grok 4 that we asked. Again, we're doing with the free versions here. So we're doing Gemini right now, and that's Flash 2.5. Again, the free version. So we're going to enter the same thing. What meal can I make with the following ingredients?
All
And let's
right,
see
Gemini,
what
let's
it
see what
does.
you
It's
got.
Gemini's turn. And
Certainly an unconventional mix of ingredients, getting the strong, distinct flavors of durian, kimchi, and horseradish. Few ideas ranging from adventurous to slightly more conventional.
whoa, it's giving us
Option one.
options.
Okay, so yeah, it's given a few options here. Yeah, one thing I have noticed with Gemini is you have to tell it to like stop being so explicit explanative, I guess that would be the
I
words, but
I wonder if they get away with this because they're the ones who give out the most free tokens.
yeah, probably.
Uh,
Plus Gemini's basically a Google search on steroids anyways, so they
this is
have
true.
they have the backing for this, which I think is what's going to make Gemini a strong player. But either way, deconstructed and layered bowl. Okay. So you've okay, it doesn't quite give the ingredients from a cookbook page like Grok
No,
did.
no, I'm reading this now and
So
I'm going, okay, I would ask myself, okay, how much of this do I need?
yeah, that's kind of the whole thing right there.
Yeah.
Kimchi, spoonful of kimchi on the side. You put the tofu, pan fry. That's basically what you do. Horseradish cream dressing. Mix horseradish with a neutral base like a dollop of sour cream. Otherwise, just tiny bit of water, a pinch of
Okay.
oregano. So a little cream,
So that was
slice the
interesting. Now,
pickles.
I want to point this out to our listeners. We faulted ChatGPT a tiny bit for mentioning the honey without actually knowing if we have honey. This
Hmm.
time, Gemini mentioned sour cream, but it does say in there if you
And
have it, otherwise a tiny
yes,
bit of water. So at
yeah,
least
another
Gemini
option.
recognizes that that was not an ingredient that we gave it.
Yes, yes. So that could it gives you the options right here. And yeah, durian, very small because it's very potent. Side rather incorporated directly. Sorry, I'm like reading and talking at the same time. I'm
No,
not that great
I
at
think
it.
I love this part down here where it says how to eat. Like we're
Yeah.
men, we know how to eat the darn food. Like this is
Yes.
not, that's an entire unnecessary paragraph. You stick it with a tool and you put it in your mouth and you
Yeah.
chew. This isn't hard.
Yeah, so basically you just drop all the hard flavors in there and dab the horseradish cream on there. So basically just cooking it and throwing it in a bowl. Not
Yep.
very creative. Uh Stir fry. Here we go.
Option two, tofu stir fry. We've heard, or kimchi and tofu stir fry. I think we've heard this one.
Yes, Grok just did this one. It's basically looking like the same thing almost.
Yeah, very
I'm kind of reading it a little
similar.
bit here. Yeah, saute some onions or garlic if you have them in a pan. Okay, so it's given us a
Yep.
few ingredients there. For this, yeah, kimchi. Yeah, add it to the stir fry base.
I love it. Now we have
Flavoring.
once again a recommendation for the durian to be served as a dessert, which I think I kind of agree
Yes.
with at this point. Now that we've heard it from a couple.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the durian as a dessert might be our best bet, but you never know. You can't knock until you try it, right? All
I would
right.
have to agree. Yes, you are
Yes.
correct. Option
Odd,
three, odd
odd.
couple skewers.
Yes. So this looks
Oh,
like just a basic the cubes, or cubes of tofu, ground to their kimchi pickle side. Serve it with bowls of kimchi and sliced pickles on the side. Horseradish drip drizzle. Drip slash drizzle. I like drip
okay.
drizzle. That sounds pretty.
Drip
That sounds a
drizzle.
lot
I
more
kind of like
fun. Yeah,
that. We should that should be a
yeah. A little
hashtag for this week.
horseradish drip drizzle. I think I'm gonna make a sauce and sell it and make $1 million. Mix a small amount of horseradish with a little water or oil. Make a thin sauce for dipping. Okay, so that's a little dipping sauce.
Right.
Definitely on its own plate with the durian. Um,
Yep.
yeah, so yeah, that's just kind of they really want to separate the Gemini really wants to separate the durian from everything,
I
whereas
believe all
Grok,
three options had it separated. Grok
yeah,
was like, "All right, you asked me to put it in, so I'm going to put it in."
okay, yeah, so considerations. I think Grok did the same thing at the end here,
It
gave us the
did.
considerations. So yeah, it basically the same considerations, kind of warning you
Right.
what could do this. Says most successful meal will likely involve serving some components separately. They were clashing too aggressively. Yeah, they Yeah, very much recommending separate
Yeah, we
here.
have been forewarned about the flavor of durian. By
Yes.
every tool has said, be very cautious how much you add, things
Yes.
like that. I will say this answer we got, in my opinion, is a little too long. But I
Yeah.
do think the skewers are kind of outrageous in a good way. I think that that makes most sense.
Yeah,
That's probably the one I would want to try the most. Um,
I'm all about the horseradish drip drizzle now.
Drip drizzle. Yep.
The little drip drizzle. But yeah, the skewers, yeah, they definitely seem like a good one. The bowl was basically the skewers in a bowl instead.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Gemini, this is kind of my thing with Gemini is that it gives you a very long explanation for things. I
It does.
think yeah, I think there's a way you can customize it, where you can kind of break it down a little bit. Like I've had literally tell Gemini, give me a synopsis. Like, shorten these answers for me because it just got like too ridiculous sometimes.
Do you know if Gemini does the no yapping command? Are you familiar with that? I should ask you that.
That I do not know. I haven't looked into any of that yet.
When you put in your prompt, you then put no yapping.
Okay.
And it's basically the same. It's basically an AI way of saying, or it's a slang AI way of saying, be precise and concise with your answer.
Okay.
However, when
Hmm.
getting the ingredients, I kind of like the fact that Grok wasn't precise and concise. I normally like that, but I ChatGPT's now that I'm comparing it to these other twos that we've seen,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't hold up. I mean, it's a good recipe,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
didn't give me measurements. It didn't give me the process. It didn't give me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
These ones kind of did. Um, so now I'm
Yeah.
curious. Do you want to try to move on to Claude? Let's see what Claude
Let
does.
yeah, let's see what Claude has to say. Claude is
I'm
known
curious.
for a lot of people that don't know, Claude is known as like the professional engineers
Yes.
sort of LLM. I use it a lot to help me with coding. A lot of people like it with coding, and it's based off of that. Whereas all the other ones that we tried are more general.
So I'm glad you said that from your standpoint, because from an education standpoint that I'm hoping to bring here, Claude is probably the best writing tool in terms
Okay.
of revising, editing. In my opinion, Claude does a very good job. If you need an outline for a story
Hmm.
or an outline of how to attack an essay, Claude is very, very good at that. So,
Okay, yeah, but I will say that Claude's free version does run out pretty quickly.
oh boy, does
Uh,
it. I'm nervous with
yeah.
the two prompts. It's not going to give a, it really shouldn't, but it shouldn't be a problem because we're doing, we got Claude Sonnet 4. So again, that's the free version.
Hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and upload the same one. What meal can I make with the following ingredients? And let's see what it does.
All right, let's see what we got, Claude. Bold fusion style spicy tofu scramble. Here's how
Whoa.
to make it. Okay.
Okay. So it only gives us one.
Yeah, just one. This actually does a lot, um, like ChatGPT did. It just gave us a basic little rundown right
Yep.
here. And okay, so spicy fusion tofu scramble. Crumble tofu, cube it, grill it in the pan, basic tofu right there. Build a flavor base with the kimchi. Bit of minced durian, used sparingly. Everybody knows that durian is very poignant. Poignant? Is that how you say it? I'm not an English major, so I
I
can't
think
really.
that's the right way, but
Yeah. Season, yeah, you got the paprika, oregano. Finish with thin slices of pickle and a small dollop of horseradish for sharp heat. He is using the durian very sparingly. Wow, that they are very
that's,
adamant that the
that
durian is
is,
a potent fruit.
I would say we have consensus on that between every AI
Yes.
tool.
Yeah, that's been one big point. Uh, and kind of explains the dish a little bit. Creates an adventurous breakfast or lunch dish that isn't like a Korean European fusion scramble.
Hmm.
That's like a Korean European fusion scramble. Serve it with rice or toast to help balance the intense flavors. Okay, so it's giving a
Okay.
suggestion right now.
A
Okay,
suggestion.
actually, kind of. I do kind of like that because the ingredients will admit are sounding kind of ridiculous together. But you know, they offered the balance suggestion right there, which I think was actually a good one right there,
Yes.
just to kind of balance out the flavors. So, you know, maybe in a way I do kind of like the suggestions.
I think I do the
in a
more.
way.
I really like it in this case. In particular, the way it says it didn't say that you had rice, or it just says serve it. So it's basically saying if you have the opportunity to go out, get something, go
Hmm.
ahead and get it because it'll balance the meal a little better.
Yeah, the combination might sound unusual, but the fermented, spicy, and umami elements actually complement each other well when proportioned correctly. Now, it doesn't proportion it for us, though. That's the whole thing.
Hmm.
That's my only thing. And I gotta say, Grok did the best way to, give us the measurements and everything.
I have to agree with Grok's layout of the answer was much better and user friendly
Hmm.
in my opinion. I'm not gonna say much
Yeah,
better,
definitely.
but it was definitely better and more user friendly.
Yeah,
And I was very impressed that it gave it right away. In fact, if I had to say right now, I'd probably say Grok's was the best answer so far in terms
yeah.
of layout. But I would have to say ChatGPT probably failed when you compare it to the other three right now.
Yeah, I would say if we can go back to ChatGPT,
I think
just
we
kind of
can. Let's
remind
take a
us a
look
little
at
bit.
what it said here. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So basic. Didn't give us any suggestions.
I mean, it says saute, add chopped kimchi. It doesn't give you measurements. It just says what the stuff may be
Yeah,
used for.
very basic. Yeah,
A very basic answer.
yeah. Bold, funky, and complex. Which that's a great explanation right there. But yeah, I think in this prompt exactly, Grok came out on top. I would
Uh,
have to say
yeah.
I did not know what to expect going in, so I was open-minded about all the tools. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, and yeah, I should remind this is one prompt for one thing,
Oh my
so it's
gosh,
not
yes.
like so it's not like Grok's going to be give us the best responses for everything. But in
Yeah.
this case, I have to give them the win on this one.
I would have to give them the win on a very extremely basic prompt
Hmm.
that for example, we put in the grok that gave us all that stuff. I can ask ChatGPT a follow-up that says, could you include the amounts, the amount of each ingredient, what the process
Hmm.
would look like, how I can get it from the fridge to on my table for me to eat. Um,
Yeah.
the only outlier that's really weird to me was Gemini put in that how to eat it. I just
Yeah,
laugh
that was
hysterically.
kind of odd. That was just a little bit odd.
That was an
But I
odd.
mean, but Gemini did give us a couple options instead of
It did.
one options. I don't know if I like that because I could ask for more options, but it's looking. Yeah, I say I might actually try to make it soon. I
You
might
think?
actually try to make. I think so. Maybe
Do you have all that
we'll
stuff later
see.
on? Do you have durian?
I'm gonna have to order some durian.
Well, listen,
So
you're not far from the guy who made that suggestion. So I'm just
okay,
saying, if a quick drive to the western part of Geauga County, and maybe he's got some
okay,
durian for you. Who
yeah.
knows?
We'll have to check it out. Okay, so anyway, that's how you can prompt an AI tool to come up with a dish. You got something in
Yep.
your fridge, you got these ingredients, what can I make out of it? And it'll give you a nice dish right there. That's a fun one. I think it actually made those ingredients that sounded ridiculous on the surface, actually made them sound more feasible, in my opinion.
And at the very least, we had a fun discussion about it.
Exactly. Exactly. And you never know which tool is going to give you the best response. So, with that being said, Adam, shall we go to the next topic?
Let's go to the next topic, because I know I would say
Hmm.
everybody's dying to hear this, but that's not true at all. I know you and I want to hear
Uh,
this, so this ought
yeah,
to be
a
good.
lot of our social circles probably dying to
Yes.
hear it. I should mention right before we get started, for those that are just listening and not watching, Adam started a new chat with this one, which is something
Oh,
that
yes.
I've come to recommend because when you have long chats, they kind of stack on each other. So you're opening yourself up for some hallucinations if you keep a long chat going.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an
That
excellent point, Brian. I'm glad you brought that up
yes.
because
Hmm.
if I would have put this next prompt right after the ingredients, I
It
don't know
probably
if
would
it would
give
have
me a
happened in this
tailgating
case,
recipe.
but yeah, there's a chance it could have been like the Browns need to eat more durian in order to win the Super Bowl. Like something like that could come up in response. I doubt it would have happened, but a new
Yeah.
chat basically tells it reset and follow this information now.
Yeah, start from there. So that's kind of the pro tip of the day. If you're doing a new topic, start a new chat. Try to keep long chats away. I've also noticed that if you do a long
Yes.
chat, it starts to get like really crazy with its answers. But
Lots of
anyway,
confusion. Yeah.
yes.
Anyways,
Anyway, Adam, what are we asking ChatGPT now?
so this one's a very specific prompt. This one's a little more specific than the vague one we gave it. And I'm curious to see how many of these. I think Gemini may have a problem just based on what we saw earlier, because I'm asking them to give me one sentence to answer each of these questions. So here we go. We're going to ask all of our AI tools, when will the Cleveland Browns win their first Super Bowl? Respond with one, the predicted year, two, one sentence explaining why that year was chosen, three, one sentence explaining what could derail them before then. I'm sure Brian and I know the answer to every one of those. And number four, one sentence describing what the Browns must do to make sure they win the Super Bowl, or excuse me, that the Super Bowl win happen. What do they have to do to make it happen? So let's
Yes.
start with ChatGPT 4.0, who, in my opinion, with these sports debates, knows a little bit better than some of the others. But let's see what it says.
Okay. GPT, give me your best.
Here we go.
All right, we're thinking. We're
Searching the
thinking.
web. Oh, dear.
Oh boy.
2030.
Ooh, okay. So we got 5 years. Okay,
Okay. All right.
so
I'll start
respond
stocking up.
with the predicted year 2030. Okay, so it's following the instructions. A one sentence explaining why that year was chosen. Because Miles Garrett is locked in through 2030 and a stacked draft capital, they can build a contender by then. Okay, so that was obviously
That's
Miles
the
Garrett has a lot
explanation.
of
So
weight
what
on
could get
that.
what could derail it?
A revolving QB room and shallow receiver depth could derail them before that year. Well, gee, if that isn't the most
If that
obvious
isn't the most
answer you
obvious
can
Cleveland
give.
Browns answer, but you know what's nice here is it gave
Yes,
us the source where it got that answer. That got it from dogsbynature.com, and it provided that
yes.
for us, which I actually appreciate.
Yes, so one sentence describing what the Browns must do to make that Super Bowl win happen. They must solidify a true franchise quarterback and reliably develop surrounding offensive weapons. Yeah, everybody knows that. If you know
Yeah.
anything about NFL whatsoever, you know the Browns can't find a quarterback to save their life.
And we've got probably
So
the wackiest quarterback room in recent NFL history right now.
well, you know what? What's one more clown in the car, right?
I'm at that point, Brian.
It's
What happens if one of these clowns ends up working out? What if, so what if
yeah,
Sanders is the guy? Like,
yeah. Who knows, really?
who knows? Who knows? I mean, we're getting a
Yes,
little too Brownsy, and that's going to happen when you
yeah,
have Browns fans on a podcast or anywhere for that matter.
yes, yes. So
But the answers
anyway,
are precise and concise that I asked it to do, basically.
yeah. So yeah, basically, like going back to the prompting, ChatGPT followed directions. That's a very good one right there. I think they did exactly what you asked them to, and gave us some obvious answers, but hey,
Hmm.
that's pretty good following
Yeah,
directions
that
right
means
there. So,
it understood the assignment, and I
hmm
do love that it gave the source.
yes,
I kudos to ChatGPT for that one.
yes,
All
I
right,
like sources. I like sources.
I agree. All right,
Okay, so
let's see
Grok.
what it's Grok's turn. This could get
Yes,
interesting.
yes.
All right, same thing. When will the Browns win the Super Bowl? One answer for each of those, or one sentence for each of those. We're using Grok 3. Let's see what we got. 2028.
Ooh, okay. So they predicted they'll
Whoa.
win in 2028, which is 3 years. Okay. The Cleveland Browns are predicted to win their first Super Bowl in 2028 due to their ongoing roster improvements, young talent development, and potential for a breakout season with a favorable schedule and coaching stability, which, we haven't had that since now.
Hmm.
I don't know if we got the right choice for a stable coach, but time will tell. One sentence explaining what could derail them before then. Injuries to key players like Deshaun Watson or Miles Garrett or inconsistent offensive line play could derail their progress before 2028. That kind of
Uh,
makes me wonder, key player Deshaun Watson.
yep.
I think I think that goes without explanation. Do your research on that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to refrain from getting too much into that.
For those
But
of you
Miles
that
Garrett
aren't
is a key
sports
player.
guys, Deshaun Watson's not going to be with the team within a year. Uh,
Yeah, basically,
yeah.
yeah.
I just want to say, if you're not a sports fan, like this, and pretty much everybody in Cleveland knows this, and by everybody, I do literally mean everybody knows this. Just throwing that out there.
hmm
All right.
Yes. So One sentence describing what the Browns must do to make that Super Bowl win happen. To secure the Super Bowl win, the Browns must maintain a healthy roster, refine their offensive strategy to maximize Watson's potential, and bolster their
Oh.
secondary to counter elite passing attacks.
So Grok did such a good job with the first one, and now I'm going, oh,
Yeah,
Grok, wow,
yeah,
you
it's not a sports guy.
not
It's
feeling this
definitely not a
one.
sports guy. It's Emeril Lagasse. It's Emeril Lagasse. It's not Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
So it's
And
that
frankly, I
that
find
that
these answers to be very vague.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm yeah, Graka's not yeah, if you know football and yeah, I don't think yeah, I don't think Grok did very well on this one.
not feeling that one, Grok. But I'll tell you what, Grok, you still got the A plus for the stir fry, which uh,
Yeah,
that was a good job.
I might actually make that stir fry and I
We
might
should probably
actually
post
sell
that.
that in a restaurant.
We should probably post that. All
Ooh,
right.
I don't know.
Time
I
for
use it up anyway, so. Okay,
here
so
we go.
Gemini.
Gemini.
All right, so
So remember,
Gemini
I was
likes to
nervous.
get very descriptive.
I haven't answered it yet, but I'm very nervous that it's going to go too in depth. But we'll see. Let's see what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. One
Okay.
sentences. I can't wait to see what year. We mean we went from 2030 to 2028,
Yep.
and here we
Okay.
go. Gemini 2029.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, long
these are run-on
sentences, but
sentences if I've ever seen them.
yes, but it did bullet point exactly how you asked it
Yes,
to.
it did. Yes, it did.
And I will say I'll go back to Grok. It did bullet point like we asked it to as well.
Yes,
So
it
it was
did.
able to follow the prompting directions. The opinions were less than favorable, but it did do a good job of creating those bullet points like we asked it to. So, Gemini also did a good job of bullet pointing and following the directions. 2029 is predicted year, chosen as it allows for the current quarterback situation to be resolved, either through one of their recent draft picks developing or by acquiring a new franchise QB, while the core of their talented defense remains intact and potentially gets another infusion of young talent through the draft. Okay, that's a
Wow. That's a
good
good
description.
answer. That makes
Good
sense.
description. Okay, what could derail this? Significant derailment could come from continued instability at the quarterback position, failing to develop any of their young signal callers, or substantial injuries to key defensive players that undermine their strong unit. So it recognizes the quarterback issues that the Browns have had.
Hmm.
Um, and what do they have to do to make it happen? To make a Super Bowl win happen, the Browns must finally field consistent high-level quarterback play, build a more robust and reliable offensive line to protect the quarterback, and to continue to draft and develop effectively to complement their strong defensive foundation.
So
So,
Gemini and ChatGPT gave a very similar answer for
yes,
number four in particular.
yes, 2029, 2030 is what they're both looking at. And
Wow.
basically, everything revolves around can they get a QB to play at all? Um,
That's
Grok
been
was
the answer
very,
since 1999. We've been trying to figure this one
yeah,
out.
I know. Poor Tim Couch. I still feel bad for the guy. But anyway, that's going way back. No, but I think Gemini did pretty good. Um, at bullet pointing everything. Long sentences, but I mean, ChatGPT kind of gave us more concise sentences.
I
But
I feel as if the way Gemini answered number two gives it a little bit of a leg up over
hmm
ChatGPT
okay,
because
get a
it
little more description.
recognizes that you've got the new with the old in that quarterback room, and that we have these recent
Uh-huh.
draft picks that we can acquire young talent.
Yeah. So I think yeah, I think Gemini did pretty good on that one. I
Yeah,
like Gemini's responses so far. So I
I'm
think
I'm
Gemini.
happy.
I'm gonna put Gemini in front so far.
I would have to
Definitely
agree.
gonna put. I'm
I'd
gonna
have
put
to agree.
Gemini in front. So now
ChatGPT
Claude.
very close second, but Gemini's out in front with this one.
All right, Claude, what do we got?
Let's see what Claude does. I've never really used Claude for the sports stuff, so
Yeah.
again, this is Claude, the Sonnet 4. Same question, Brown Super Bowl. Give us
Mm-hmm.
one sentence answers. Let's see what it does.
Da-da-da. Claude's thinking.
It's thinking.
I like the little burst it's got.
Searching the web. This could get interesting.
Okay, it is really searching.
Oh, did it?
Okay.
Here we go. 2029 again.
Oh boy. So keep your TVs on for 2029.
Whoa, whoa, we
Okay.
got some math here, Brian.
Oh, we do, don't we? Some odds. Browns currently have a zero point 0.4 per chance of winning the Super Bowl with 20 plus 25,000 odds this year.
So you're telling
Uh,
me there's a chance.
there's a chance. With their quarterback situation in flux, Deshaun Watson's injuries, poor performance, several years to rebuild with the franchise quarterback and develop consistent competitive roster. What could derail them? Watson is still due a lot of money over the next 2 seasons. Is that a link that it gives? Browns can adjust
That is a
Watson.
link. That is a
That
link. So
is a
like
link.
we've got
Okay.
two sources here. The first one came
Okay.
from Fox Sports,
Okay.
and then
Yeah,
this one
the
about the Deshaun
odds.
Watsons comes from the NFL. I believe that's NFL.com
Okay,
article.
yeah. Talks about Deshaun Watson's contract, which is I think may have set the record for most restructured contact contract in sports for pro sports history, I should say.
Yeah,
But
but at
anyway,
least at least we'll never have Deshaun Watson Day like we do with Bobby Bonilla, thank God.
yeah, that's
We won't have
true.
to relive it every year.
That is true.
But
Massive
look at
financial commitment,
yeah,
underperforming quarterback could severely limit the ability.
I love
Uh,
that. I
yes, what
what
the Browns must do.
find a way to move on from Watson despite his
Oh,
guaranteed contract.
yes, wow. So it was very specific with that. Okay.
I'm kind of blown away on this one.
Yeah, they
There's
are very.
math, it addresses the problem. Up here, it looks
Hmm.
as if it took a look at 10 total results to answer these
Okay.
questions.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
I'm kind of being silent right here. I'm just sort of like taking it all in right now. But I gotta say I like how so if we click on one of the 10 results drops down, let's take a look at that one.
let's do that. Let's
I'm
take a look at
curious.
oh my, oh, so it went to the News Herald.
Okay.
That's the local, that's one of the local Cleveland
Yeah.
newspapers.
Yahoo, Sports
Yahoo, Sports
Illustrated,
Illustrated,
Met Ohio. Okay, so that's
Dogs by
okay.
Nature. I think that's the one that ChatGPT looked at as well.
Yep. So it has a lot of sources. I love sources. I would love to see more sources coming up.
I love this.
Uh yeah. Then the Deshaun Watson quarterback situation.
Again,
More
another 10
sources.
sources.
Yep, that is nice. And sports opinions aside, I like how Claude sourced it. I will say,
I
like,
gotta say that I would have to agree.
yes,
I am now leaning towards giving Claude the victory in this one.
yeah. I mean, they kind of, yeah. I mean, sources are a big thing. I mean, I remember college, high school, even they beat post cite your sources,
Yeah,
list your sources. That was beaten into our heads, and you still gotta like beat that into your head with everything you do. So I say, yeah, I like Claude's sourcing.
I like what they did here. But what I really like about
Uh,
this quick experiment that we did, I'm gonna go ahead and stop
hmm.
sharing.
Yeah.
What I love about what we just did is we have now determined that somewhere between the year 2028 and 2030, most likely 2029, it's going to happen, Brian.
Yes. All right. All right.
What's
It's
going to
gonna happen.
happen?
Are we allowed to bet $10 each year for the future?
I won't bet on anything that has to do with the Browns and
No,
winning.
I will not either. I will not either. But
I
either either way, I think kind of wrapping it up here. These were just some experiences or experiments we wanted to do for everyone, just to show the differences of prompting and such.
yes,
I think what this kind of shows us really is that you ask one tool you ask multiple tools the same question, you are liable to get different answers.
correct. Uh,
So that's kind of something you have to keep in mind right there.
And just something I want to say to our listeners, this might be a better episode. Hopefully, everything worked out the way we wanted it to. This might be a better episode to actually watch us on YouTube than in
Hmm.
person because if it shared the screen correctly for the recording, you should be able to see what we saw and you can see these layouts that we discussed and determine for yourself which layout you like better.
Yes, yes, definitely. And even if you're just listening audio, that would suffice as well. So I think all that could work out nicely. But Trying to put it into words really, but yeah, I think the point you want to take away here is, some tools are going to work better for you. Not every tool is going to work best for every single answer. I think we kind of
Hmm.
proven that Grok gave us the best recipe for the
Yeah.
ingredients, as ridiculous as they were, but in our opinion, gave us
Yeah,
probably the
the one
worst
we would have most likely have
sports
gone with.
answer.
Yeah, and the worst
Yes,
sports
yes.
answer as far as we're concerned. So, and what's
So
funny with
yeah.
just a little bit of prompt engineering, just by changing my prompt up a little bit, it probably could have done just as well as the rest if I'd have given it some considerations or a little bit more to chew on,
Yeah, I
a
mean, we
little
could
more
have,
context. That could have happened with any of these tools.
yes, definitely. Like we could have changed some more prompts together and kind of like refined our answer. And that's kind of what I would encourage. Like, you have that answer right there in front of you, and you could have said, okay, now do this, now do that. And that's kind of how you keep like doing the prompting and what have you.
Hmm.
And the more you prompt and the more you massage the prompts, then you can work your way towards the final answer that satisfies with you. I will say when I was doing like a meal prep, I started out with a few basic ingredients, and I said, okay, what am I missing here? And then we kind of went back and forth on things. Some foods I liked, some foods I didn't like, and we came up with, at the end of everything, we had a very good health, uh, nutrient diverse meal prep. So that's kind of where the food thing comes up with. But
Yeah,
yeah, like continuing your prompting, I think helps your conversation a lot better.
it does. And my final thought for this week is I now know that durian is a very strong flavor and should probably be considered for a dessert instead of adding it to whatever meal I'm prepping.
Yeah, probably I would say so. But anyway, we had a lot of fun today. Adam, did you have a lot of fun? I
I
think
did. I
it
enjoyed
was a
this
good time.
episode. I really did. This was
Yes,
more. This was
yes.
a little more fun because we're playing with the tools and we're talking about them and we're having fun with it.
Yeah, we might want to do some more playing with some tools in the future once we get more
Yeah.
better screen sharing down. We're Zoom amateurs here, so we're still learning the ropes and everything. But either way, we had a fun episode tonight. Thank you, everyone who took the time out of their day to listen to us. My name is Brian,
And I am Adam.
and thank you for listening to the Layman's AI, and we will see you next time.